hot yoga. Doesn't smell good at all.
Now, mind you, I will tell you, Saints, be advised that in general conversation, you'll find that I will listen to someone at length. I will not cut them off. And in fact, when they stop speaking in my head, I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to give them time to finish their thought or continue speaking. In business, I will cut you off very quickly because we're talking about this bread and there's a different cadence in business conversation versus interpersonal conversation. So I want to calibrate you all for business communication, especially if you are in the senior position in the business communication. Then you really cutting people off, right? Because you are empowered to do so as business is in hierarchical pursuit. Now, in this case, now I want to rewind back. You've shared a number of meaningful things about this product. Number one, I love staple products, meaning things that everyone can use. If you create a consumer product, it's very nice when you can create a Walmart type product. No one walks into Walmart and says, there's nothing in here I can buy. No, everyone can buy something from Walmart. There's no doubt about that. Now, the one challenge about Walmart is that they're always competing on price. They need to have the cheapest version of fill in the blank. And as a business, you will eventually die when you're only competing on price. You never want to be price competitive as your unique value add. So, number one, I see that you're talking about natural soap, meaning that it doesn't have a bunch of chemicals you cannot pronounce. If you're producing a natural soap, then you've already removed yourself from price competition because a natural product is never as low cost as a synthetic product, right? Natural always costs more. If you go to a fancy restaurant and they give you 100% fresh squeezed orange juice, that's going to be like $8 in the restaurant. You go to McDonald's and they give you that orange juice out of the carton, that's going to be like $2. So anytime you go all natural, you're going for a market that's willing to spend money. So the number one thing we've learned right now, guys, and remember this because we'll bring it back up, is our early adopter is not a cheapskate. That's number one. We know our early adopter is not a person who's trying to save money on soap. That's number one, because you're talking about natural. And when we're thinking of a product, we want to make sure that there's really value there. Why natural?
I think it's aligned with Assassin. I think it's aligned with our core values. And I think if we're going to push a philosophy outward, it should be aligned with what we truly believe. We believe in what is natural.
And here I am cutting off politely. Mm-hmm. So I think that's good. For us, it aligns with our values, what we want to do as business people, as men. But when you're creating a product, should you be thinking about yourself or should you be thinking about the customer?
The customer. But I will say this, Saint is that's how I identify. I don't identify by my race. I don't identify by my height. No one does, but I identify as a saint. And if I'm going to push a product out there, I'm thinking about my customer for a fact, but I want to push a product that I'm going to feel good about pushing.
Yes. So you have value alignment with the product. And I like what you're saying because when you do produce a product, one thing I always tell people in my consultations, are you using your product regularly? You must be obsessed with your product. As you know, I produce a number of products and services in different verticals. I stopped my women's wrap skirts product because I'm not obsessed with it. I don't wear women's wrap skirts. I'll never get to really refine that design and really be serious about that product because I don't wear women's wrap skirts. I'm not so absorbed in that. I don't want to have conversation about it. I don't want to know what the bleeding edge of technology in women's wrap skirts is. I don't want to know what the fashion trends in women's wrap skirts are because I don't wear it. Now, in your case, you can actually use this product, and I would expect that if you produce a soap, that will be the only soap that you use. So that makes sense that you're making sure that your values align with the product that you're creating. Now, in terms of your early adopter, meaning the person that's most likely to be the initial demographic purchasing your product, how are they getting a problem solved for them with this product? And I just want to point out one clarification on the nomenclature of early adopter. You're producing soap. Everyone uses soap. Eventually, the whole world can use your soap. But when you have a product in its infancy, only the innovators, only certain small demographics are willing to take a chance on it early. They're called the early adopters. They're the ones who say, I've never heard of Assassin soap, but I want to try it out. That's an early adopter. They have attitudinal affinity, meaning they're more likely to try something new, or they're more likely to try this particular product because the branding or the iconography or the messaging really appeals to them specifically. So when you create a brand new product, it needs to be highly targeted toward an early demographic to get them to spend the dollar. And I think that you're doing that. So my first question for you is, in terms of soap, you're creating a natural soap. What's the big problem you're solving for someone? Because I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have enough money to spend on soap, but I'm so thrifty that I use the free soap that I take from the hotels I stay at. I'm gonna keep it real with you. So why would I buy your soap? And I might not be your early adopter, but talk to me. What's the problem in soap that you're solving?
Well, there's a couple, but just soap in general. I think the biggest issue is a lot of the preservatives they put in it mess with hormone function. So if you like having boners, you should probably stop using synthetic soap. And if you're gonna go natural soap, most of them don't smell good at all, or they smell like flowers and they're